anyone can achieve their dream. Just understand that it's not going to come just like that. It could take 10 years to get there. But you can't be passive. You can't be patient. You can't just relax on it. With a dream, you will do anything it takes to achieve that. So, and just understand, people are backing you, man. There are people out there that you don't even know that back you.
Welcome back to the Open Up Podcast, everyone. It's episode 106 with my friend DJ Thompson and founder of Made It Nutrition. Brother, thank you for doing this.
No worries, man. Thank you for having me, bro. Thank you for having me.
All right, straight off the bat, could you describe the way that you view yourself as a man and or human?
How I view myself as man or human. I would say human. So how I view myself as a human. That's straight off the bat. That's a good one. I view myself as a strong, capable person that can handle a lot of movement and evolution that happens very quickly. I adapt quite fast in every environment I go into, and that all comes down to me being very grounded in myself and accepting myself, who I am, and I'm not worried about judgments at all, really, unless they're good for learning and to develop my personality and become a better person.
Sweet. So the story that you're going to tell is like the founding of Made It Nutrition and all the mental hurdles and challenges you've had to go through to bring that to life and to make it what it is today. Before that, though, can we dive into your childhood and give us a summary from childhood up until that point where you found Made It Nutrition?
Yep. Okay, so my childhood upbringing. So I'm from a family of four. My father left me and us when I was 4 years old. And I remember the day he left. I was quite affected by it. And the rundown of it goes that I was about 3 years old, 4 years old. I woke up about 1:30, 2 a.m. to get a glass of water. And I walked into the kitchen. My mum was sitting here. My dad was sitting here. And I remember that he asked me who I wanted to live with at 4 years old. So that was my first experience that I remember of big decision making. At 4 years old, I had to decide if I wanted to live with my dad or my mum. I said my mum, and then that was it, man. Pretty much went downhill for the next 10 years. Personally, I put a lot of hurt on myself. I blamed myself a lot for why my father wasn't there and the struggles that my family went through because of that decision I made at 4 years old.
What were some of the things you were, you said you put a lot of hurt and blame on yourself. What were some of the things, or what was the story you were telling yourself about your dad leaving and your decision?
Yeah. So the hurt that I put on myself, it mainly came from seeing other families together and seeing my brother and my sister just not growing up with a dad, or my mum not growing up with a partner. So I blamed myself for that because back then, being that young, all you saw was a label or a tradition that set back in those days is, people didn't get divorced. A lot of families stayed together and growing up together with a mum and a dad and siblings. So I saw a label which I thought was normal.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. We all live different lives, and but yeah, that's what I saw. I saw.
So in that moment when you're being asked to make that decision, did you take that decision on from that point on as you deciding whether your dad stayed or not?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that's a heavy burden, man, to take on as a 4-year-old and to punish yourself with for 10 plus years.
Yeah, it's a very long time. But I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. How
I
did that
would,
impact your behavior? Like for that next
I
10
was,
years?
I was a rebel. Um, I did everything I could to mask the pain. I did everything I could to accept that I am a good person. You know, I am destined to do stuff that's amazing. I didn't feel like I deserved it. So as coming up, yeah, I really just didn't accept myself. I didn't allow myself to heal. I don't feel worthy enough.
Yeah. And so when you say masking and I guess validating the fact that you felt you weren't worthy, how did you do those? How were you masking and how were you validating you weren't worthy?
Yeah, so masking, man, masking substances, materialized substances, you know, marijuana, alcohol. But that was when I was, 14 on to like, 18 plus. Um, but when I was younger, what I used to do, because I was a Taekwondo practitioner, so I did a lot of sports, and that's how I mastered it. I did a lot of physical sports, so it was not physically hurting myself, but putting myself through pain, putting myself through training to the extent where I would vomit, I would, push myself, and that's how I would mask my pain, is bringing pain onto myself through, it is, health and fitness is supposed to be positive.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like really good, but I used it as a negative thing. I used another type of pain to mask the pain that I was feeling.
Well, so essentially like using exercise as punishment for something that wasn't even your fault.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Um,
moving forward from there, bro, what happens?
so yeah, from 14 to 14 to about 18, I kind of got my head into the right space, because I traveled a lot with my martial arts, did heaps of world champs, world cups. I actually found this like niche where I was surrounded by athletes, and I got to like be more vocal and speak to people. And my relationship with my mum, and went through hell and back, man. It just, yeah, we went through some really tough times together, and we just pulled out of it. And if it wasn't for her, man, like, single mom, having her own business, raising 3 kids, all crazy, man, and just, yeah, giving the unconditionally love and support that she did, man. I literally wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for that single woman.
Cute.
Yeah, moving
So,
forward,
so just
yeah,
just on that, you say like you started mixing in with like high level athletes, knowing that you've now founded a nutrition and health company. Do you feel like using that training as punishment turned into or actualized as you having a really good work ethic to then get to that point where you're associated with high level athletes and having that transition into business?
yeah, I went, yeah, I would say yes. The being it's what it is. If you surround yourself with positivity, people that will push you, motivate you, people that you look up to, you are going to become better no matter what. And if you surround yourself with negative people, you are going to become negative. You're not going to go anywhere. So I would say yes. The reason why I have a highly capability of work ethics is because of what I put myself through.
Okay. And keep walking us through it from there, my man.
Yeah. So yeah, being surrounded by high level athletes, it's on a whole new level. You know, you're not surrounded by yeah, people have dreams, but a lot of people don't accept that you have to work hard to succeed in your dream. See, I was surrounded by people that wanted to win. They would do anything, any cost to win. And very, very blessed and humble to be around those sort of people. Growing up between 14 and 18, because between those years, man, that's where like a lot of growth happens in your personality, in your physical side. There's a lot of things you don't understand what's happening in the change of your body. And being so focused on something, it kept me busy away from the actual like evolution which was happening unconsciously for me because I was so focused on things.
So when you, I guess, walk us through when you eventually transition out of Taekwondo, and give us a summary from there up until you start the business.
Yeah, so I finished Taekwondo when I was 24. I'm 34 now, so I've been out for about 10 years. I
You are
have
a
been a
good-looking 34-year-old.
thanks. Nutrition, man. Nutrition and smiling, eh? Smile every day. Yeah, so yeah, but so from 25 till now, when I first came out of Taekwondo, I was quite lost. You know, like dedicating yourself for something to something so long, that's all you know. So for those like next couple of years, man, I was like catching up on my social life. You know, I was just letting go, man, really, and just celebrating too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I still was fitness. I still was looking after myself, where probably pretty much about 70%, 65%. You know, I've been a personal trainer for 16 years, and it's changed a lot being a trainer. But yeah, yeah, bro, you just brought back so much memories there.
And saying that you felt like you weren't good enough because you had to make that decision, a lot of self-blame and guilt for like feeling like you chose for your dad to leave, essentially. In becoming someone who identified as a elite or high level Taekwondo practitioner, did you feel good enough in that environment and with what you were achieving?
Yes, I felt accepted. You know, my work ethics was high. Uh, Back then, I was one of the number one slots in New Zealand, one of the top fighters then. So my that's a deep question, bro.
Yeah.
Just give
So
me
I know you felt accepted, but like looking back now, do you feel you were good enough for yourself, or were you still punishing yourself?
No, it took. I didn't really accept what had happened. Um, you know, I'm still going through it, man. I've accepted it. I know what I have to work on, but I'm 34 years old. This happened 30 years ago. I am still healing from it. The thing that I heal the most, though, that I need to heal the most, and I need to accept that I have two kids. When my daughter was born, I felt, it was the first ignition that I felt as a father. I was a dad. Now that really kicked in. That was 6 years ago. I couldn't understand how can you love something as much as I love my daughter and leave?
Yeah.
Now that reset the fire, reset everything in my mind, and anger kicked in. I'm not an angry person, but I felt it's a love that you would die for within an instant.
It
And I
is,
couldn't
man.
understand. Yeah,
Well,
I couldn't understand why would you leave when he's had three of us,
yeah.
not just one. Like that, and that just reignited everything.
So
But
being a
yeah,
dad and like looking back now at your dad, having had so much time to work through it and become more mindful, become more aware and self-aware, do you have an understanding of what sort of trauma or insecurity or underlying issue or limiting belief forced your dad to walk away or leave?
yeah. I asked him why did he leave, and he told me.
Yeah.
And 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 that's what I wanted, man, was the truth. Because once I heard that, then I was like, okay, being the man I am now, right now, I accept that, you know. But you can't heal 30 years within a couple of weeks or a couple of years. You know what I mean? It's perfect time.
Yeah.
Uh,
So were you able to relinquish the blame you've put on yourself? Like feeling like you caused him to go away?
yeah, that's long gone, man.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's long gone. The blame's long gone. Because honestly, bro, I'm a fucking amazing human being. You know what I mean? I don't need to put that shit on myself.
Yeah. All
And,
right. Uh,
yeah,
and going from no, let's fast forward. We'll fast forward to made it health and nutrition,
yeah,
or made it
maybe
nutrition,
health and fitness.
made it health and fitness. Okay. uh, Walk us through like the idea generation and then getting yourself up to the point where you're at now, where you're a company, you're doing relatively well over there on the East Coast.
Yeah, man. So made it health and fitness. We have two companies underneath that company. So our two businesses underneath that company. We have Made It Fitness, which is your one-on-one training, your training side of things. We have Made It Nutrition, which is your supplement side of things, nutrition side of things. So when we moved to Sydney, that was back in 2014. We I landed a really good job, you know, as a personal trainer. And within like the first 6 months, man, I established myself. You know, I was earning good coin, helping a lot of people, and we started working on Made It Nutrition, the supplement side of things, and that was back in 2014. We worked on it. We had this idea, but we didn't have no self belief. We didn't have I felt like we weren't educated enough to launch a supplement company. So for the next couple of years, we educated ourselves. We learned a lot. We did courses, man. You know, we just started slowly creating our ideal lifestyle and our goal to help as much people as we can through health, fitness, and nutrition.
Cool. Keep going from there, my man.
Yep. Um, but during from 2014 to 2018, there we got into a comfort zone where, you know, we were earning good money. Um, you know, we thought we made it, um, but the toll on my mind, grinding away day in, day out, doing over 10 hours a day of one-on-one personal training, mentally, that is exhausting. You know, you're putting in like a professional trainer, man. They just don't tell you what to do. It's like a lifestyle coach. You're trying to help people. I was helping people out of divorces. I was helping people out of depression and helping them through depression. I would, people come up to me and talk to me. Sometimes they'll just talk to me for an hour instead of like training. And that there, listening and just listening, man, and taking on board what they were saying is extremely tiring in itself,
Wow.
mentally. Yeah.
Obviously, you're in a better place now, but for anyone out there who's a PT or who owns a business or is a practitioner who does something similar, where essentially what they're doing is giving someone the confidence or the tools or the wherewithal to overcome challenges, what would you say for someone in that position to do in terms of managing that stress and that burden of having people essentially unload their baggage on you?
I would say leave it at work. And I would say be more mindfulness of the environment you set yourself in when you go through these sessions. Have some tools, have some ammo to have, and meditate, man. Release and relax, and understand that it takes a lot of responsibility for someone to come up to you and trust you with their life. And just understand that if you've got to be educated as well. That's a big one.
Yeah.
There's so much mental health, is it disabilities? Like what you told me about, there's over 400, man. And when someone comes up to you and just opens this up, you've got to have your guard. And what I mean by the guard, you've got to have tools to not take it all on board. Okay? Like, yes, you're there to help them, but try and not have their energy from them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Did you ever go through any burnouts taking on that baggage?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Man,
What did that look like for you? Because for me, it
oh,
looked like back into depression and back into I'm a piece of shit. So what was that for you?
My family took the toll. I was extremely exhausted, man. I didn't have any time I didn't have it. Sorry, not time, but energy to be a father, be a dad, be a husband. I was drained, man. I would I'd just like, I was so smashed. And this
All right.
isn't even, it's not even physical training. It's you're not doing anything physically, but the power of someone's energy can affect you so much if you allow it to. And that's where like that's why I'm so I highly recommend people to educate themselves, not just about the physical aspects. It has to be emotional aspects, it has to be mentality aspects, and it has to be spiritual aspects. Those elements there, you have to have, good education about. Good guards, man, good tools, good ammo.
All right. So moving on, let's fast forward to the part where you start messing with the products or sorting the products out and bringing it to market, because I can imagine that's probably going to be some of the most mentally challenging parts of setting up a supplement business.
Yeah, man. So we all started, man, like we started making stuff at home. We would go to like a wholesale place and just buy different ingredients, man, and mix it all up. And we would be like, nah, this doesn't work. This tastes like shit. Like, this will work. Let's do this. This tastes really nice. There was a lot of testing before we even created a recipe. And with a recipe, though, you can't just, people just think you just add shit together and then it makes this amazing product. It doesn't. Like, you have to make sure that you use the right ingredients that go well together. It's not just like, I'll take a bit of this, I'll take a bit of that. It has to be the right ingredients that work well together to achieve what you want your product to achieve.
That's
Um,
what are some of the things you've faced, or what are some of the mental challenges you've faced throughout that process?
we got used to hearing no. No, no,
Nice.
no, no, no. Like, it got to a point where I would be on a phone to someone, and this was for financial and or anything really, like creating for packages or anything. I would jump on the phone even before I dial the number. I'm prepared for the no. Like, I already know it's going to be a no. How unhealthy is that shit, man? Like, my my personality, like, I hate hearing no, because I'm like a yes person. I'm like, yo, let's do this. I'm all in, man. You know what I mean? And if it helps someone, I'm all in. So I couldn't understand why people were saying no, and it would just throw balls at us. It's like dodgeball, man. Like, you get hit hard in dodgeball, you go down. We were getting hit hard. We were losing every time, after time after time. A whole year's worth, man. 365 days, we were getting hit hard. Mentally, man, that was like taking a massive toll on me and my wife.
Yeah,
You know,
and how did that sort of show up in your relationship and in your life?
we would it would we would not communicate well. Everything would build up, and then we would just woof, hit hard, and then we would start again, and then it would repeat, man. We would just like brush it off and then move on, but we wouldn't speak about it. We wouldn't be like, okay, the factors of saying no hurts us, man, and we wouldn't talk about it, and we would just brush it off and move on, and then it would just build up, and then we will just collapse again. The
Were you
foundation, yeah.
were you both on the same page, or was there one of you driving this, trying to achieve this dream, and one sort of pulling back?
That's the beauty of it, because she's water, bro, and I'm fire. So that there creates the balance element. We were both on the same page. Our vision was there. Our dream was there. We were creating it. But that's the beauty of it with our relationship. You know, I would get heated, man. I get heated quite fast. And she's like the cool one, man. She keeps me calm and cool. But then I heat her up. So it's like, it works really well together. But when it came to the I wouldn't say arguments, but I would say disagreements. They were hot, man. They went off, and it was good, because we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't have created a product with so much passion and love behind it.
So were those healthy? Would you say those were healthy disagreements then?
Oh man, how can you even comprehend a healthy disagreement at a level like that?
I think what I mean by that is, say you're both really feeling the effects of hearing a no. You've got the same vision. You're both aligned, and then you're disagreeing about a certain aspect of the process, and I guess that pathway to achieving the goal of setting up a supplement company, which then makes it a disagreement about the best actions to take next, making it a healthy agreement in terms of achieving the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, it was healthy. The disagreements were healthy. But with the disagreements, literally, man, it came down to a lot with me, because I wouldn't listen. I'm very quick to judge
Yeah.
with things, and that was back in the day. That's not now, though. I'm a very different person now. And but yeah, it was healthy, man.
Do you have an
Um,
understanding of why you were someone who didn't listen?
yeah, of course. Protection
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Ego.
protecting my heart. Yeah, yeah. The ego was, I don't like the word ego, um, but it was like a huge protection of this. You know, I was protecting this because of what has happened in the past, you know. Um, and yeah, I was trying to protect it from the one person I'm supposed to put in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, um, yeah, it was ego a lot as well, bro, actually, when I were sitting down just right now, just thinking about it,
So
you know.
going back to hearing the no's, and like you said, you had a year of just repetitive no's, just constantly hearing no's. Obviously, that's amazing in terms of building resilience, because I think if you're in sales, you know that it takes 9 no's to get to 1 yes. So you need
Yeah.
that resilience to stumble, pick yourself back up, and eventually walk. Um, with your one though, and hearing the no's and saying that you jumped on calls expecting to hear a no, like there's a lot of, I guess, limiting beliefs or no self belief, like you said there was in 2014 when you had the idea. How did you then get to a point where you had the belief within yourself to go out and make this happen, or to get on calls and expect to hear a yes, or to pitch yourself in a way where you're showing up confidently and not self-sabotaging?
So it came down to my mental health was the decision. In 2018, we went up to Gold Coast from Sydney. That's where I am now, and um, went away for my daughter's and my wife's birthday. And as soon as we got here, man, I wanted to move here. I found where I'm supposed to be. I found that I could bring my family up here, and it came down to my mental health. That was the decision. That was my wife and myself, like saying, like, this is it, man. We're gonna fucking do this, and we're gonna give it everything we've got. So we left Sydney. We left family and friends there um, that we grew with, that a community that we built. We left all that behind, man, and we came up here and we started new. And it took self belief, it took courage, and it took us knowing that we had to move away from where we were comfortable. We had to move away from that comfortability where we had to go out and fight.
Awesome. So sort of like backing yourselves in a corner and having no other option but to succeed, to ensure that you could live the lifestyle that you wanted over there in GC.
That's right.
Um,
See,
so
it's
in
like
terms of like Sydney, going from Sydney to GC, what was your support network like in Sydney, um, in terms of how did people receive your ambition to create a supplement company, and how has that changed going to the Gold Coast?
the support we had. I didn't really put it out there too much. It was more like an internal thing within our family that we wanted to, work quietly and become louder later on.
Yep.
And that's how we work a lot. I did put the idea out there, and it kind of like got received but quickly brushed off. There was not really there was a lot of hearing but not listening. And like now I kind of understand why, because yeah, it's like if I did decide to do that, I would be leaving. I would leave, and that's probably why they reacted like that. Um,
Okay.
You know, it was,
And in terms of
yeah,
Sydney being so big and having so much going on, people have people have a lot on their minds, and for the most part, what I've seen from people in Sydney who are looking to achieve, they're really hyper focused and they've got tunnel vision. They're in that city for a reason. And so it's quite easy for someone to hear your aspirations and not take it seriously until you show that you are actually committed to making it happen.
yeah, that's the thing. Like you saying that there's tunnel vision there, but I had to move away to get
Yeah,
my tunnel vision. You know, I was helping a lot of other people achieve their dream, their goals. You know, but I had to have responsibility on myself, my family, to live our dreams and our goals.
cool. How has that changed? How has that network in that environment changed since moving to the Gold Coast?
Yeah, the network here is we're still building, man. You know, we've only been here for just over a year now, and um, with our company, it's a lot different now. See, back in Sydney, I was in the gym, but here I'm all online. So we're communicating and reaching out to different communities, not just the health and fitness. You were going right into heaps of other communities and helping them. So it's very, very different. It's very different, man.
Yeah, and so you've literally gone from someone who was living in the rat race in Sydney, working 10-hour days, taking on that baggage from clients and burning yourself out with this dream to move into Gold Coast, and within a year you've got a supplement company that's up and running, that's kicked off. I've seen like you're doing a lot of work with a lot of dancers, which is exciting considering how popular and mainstream, especially hip hop, is at the moment. Like you've literally taken that risk and forced yourself to create opportunity, which is amazing. How do you said at the start that you were someone who flows, who finds it easy to adapt. How do you see taking risks? And for anyone who's in the position where they're contemplating taking the risk, what would you say to them?
Fucking do it. Like, seriously, like, do it, man. You know, because I'm just going to say this right now, man. When you see someone living their dream or achieve their dream, a lot of people think how lucky they are. Oh, they're lucky, man. Or like, you know, they good on them. But they don't understand the amount of work goes behind it. And this is what I want to say is like anyone can achieve their dream. Just understand that it's not going to come just like that. It it could take 10 years to get there. But you can't be passive. You can't be patient. You know, you can't just relax on it. You with the dream, you would do anything it takes to achieve that. So, and just understand, people are backing you, man. There are people out there that you don't even know that back you. You know, that's what it comes down to, man. I say go for it, man, and that's what made it all about. We are a company that backs people in their dreams. We support you. We're here for you. You know, we just don't do supplements, man. We do sponsorships. We do fundraising. We do a lot of things, man. We help a lot of different people in all aspects of life. It could be in health and fitness. It could be a stay-home mom or a mother that works hard out, stay-home dad, a dad that works hard out. It could be a student, a professional athlete. You know, everyone has dreams. Everyone is different. And I just always, always say that you just fucking go for it, man. You're not promised tomorrow. You got to
Yeah.
take every day as it comes, man.
And at the worst, if you go for your goal, you strive to achieve that dream, you take the risk, you take that leap, and you miss, you're going to end up where you were when you took the risk. Like that's where you're going to fall back to. So what are you going to lose? Absolutely
That's right.
nothing. Maybe a little bit of ego and pride, but if that matters that much to you, you're never going to achieve anything anyway. You have to relinquish a bit of that ego and accept that you're going to stumble and fail. But if you can see it as lessons and growth and learning, then you're only going to get better and get closer to that goal.
Yeah, man. And it's like, if you fail, okay, see where we're at now with our companies, we've evolved 3 or 4 times from the idea we had back in 2014. So instead of thinking about the destination, it's all about the fucking journey, man. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They have this goal where they want to be, but that's just the destination. And when by the time you're halfway through getting there, that dream is going to be way, way more advanced than where you first began.
Yeah.
So you're always going to be evolving, not just as a human, but spiritually, man. You're going to just grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, I think that's important. When you focus on the prize of the destination, it's easy to see how much of a delta there is between you and that goal or that dream. And therefore, it's easier to, I guess, get stuck in self-loathing and bash yourself for not being closer to that goal. Whereas if you focus on the process, you can tick off items that get you closer to that goal. And in doing so, and ticking off those items and acknowledging it, you're grateful for the process, and so that goal and that delta between you and that goal doesn't matter so much.
That's right.
All right,
That's what it comes to. Yeah.
I've got to jump off this call, but we're going to do a couple questions first.
Yo.
Knowing everything that you've been through, knowing the struggle that you've been through in setting up Made It Health and Fitness, what would you say the quality of your life is like now?
Beautiful.
Nice. What have you added to your life or removed from it to improve the quality of it?
I added another child to my life.
Yeah. What have you removed?
Ego.
Nice. Love it, man. You've also added grey hairs to your beard. You're still beautiful. It's okay. What are you most grateful for right now?
My wife.
Oh, cute. That's so good. Last question. If you had the chance to put a message on a billboard somewhere where you know thousands of people would see it every day, what would that message be?
My message would be to live life every day to your fullest. It would to say something along the line that breathe, live in the now, and be more mindfulness about who you are and where you want to get to this year.
Nice, concise, quick. I love it. Quickly before we jump off this call or off this podcast, can you give us the elevator pitch or an overview of what it is Made It Health and Fitness is and what you do?
Yep, we are a company that supports anyone that wants to chase their dreams. We will provide you with the physical training. We will provide you with the health, the wellness, and the nutrition behind your dream. So to succeed in something that you want to achieve, you have to look after your body, your mind, and your soul. And that's what we're about, is providing the supplementation, providing the right training, providing the tools to look after your body to get to where you want to be.
Cool. And what are the supplements?
We have a pre-workout. These are all plant-based supplements, okay? So none of it really is, it's all like, my wife created all these recipes. So we have a pre-workout, mango tea flavor. That's pretty much our hit for the products. We have an intra, which is a BCAA. This is a drink you have during a workout or during the day that you want to stay hydrated. That's watermelon flavor. We have a 3 protein flavors. We have chocolate caramel, we have vanilla coconut, and we have a woman's brand called Divinity. Okay, and that one there is mainly for mothers. It is breastfeeding safe. Okay, so you can have it when you breastfeed. It's a good meal replacement as well.
Awesome, my bro. Thank you for taking time to do this. Thank you for sharing your journey. opening up. I'm not too sure if I've heard you speak about this publicly before, so I really appreciate you doing that, man. And most of all, I appreciate you for transitioning, being adaptive, learning what you've learned, going through what you have with Janina and the business and what you're doing now, man. Super grateful you're in that space over there in GC, helping people with the health, the nutrition, and the mental side of the human experience.
No worries, man. Thank you. And don't cut this next part out because this is me saying how fucking proud I am of you. Like, I've known you for a very long time. You know, back in the day, man, I didn't know who you were. I knew of you and I know who you were back then. But the person you are now, man, I love this person. I am so proud of you. You know, you're helping so much people from your experience, from what you went through. You know, and that takes a lot of courage, man. You know, and I love you, man. I'm so proud of you, brother.
I
Thank you.
love you too, bro. Straight up. Thank you so much, man. Have a good day.
No, you too, bro.
I'll send you
I'm a man.
kisses via Instagram later.
Yeah.